Chairman Ring.
Here. Okay, just so everyone's aware, this meeting is being recorded for both audio and video and will be posted on the town website. So if you don't want to be on, then you'll have to hang up.
Hang up now or never.
Right. Do we have an approval of the minutes? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from October?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
I'll third it.
Okay, Gabby, roll call, please.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Turco-Levin,
Yes.
Mr. Porter,
Yes.
Mr. Reggino,
Yes.
Chairman Ring.
Yes. All right, I'd like to open the preliminary hearing for Dan Furman. And if you just give me a second, I will share my screen here. Okay. And Mr. Furman, you have an application for two things: a front setback of relief of, I think, 10 feet and a relief on the fence height of 2 feet to allow for a 6-foot fence. Is that correct?
I believe so. I think the first part is already handled. That part, I had a permit for this fence and approved and everything for where it is back in 2010. When the fence was first built, I never really saw the permit. The contractor picked it up and it was all closed. I really didn't pay too much attention to it. And they built the fence to 4 foot high, which is correct, which is the way to do it. I didn't know that. And after they finished it, I was thinking, oh, why is that 4 foot high? That makes no sense to me. Oh, well, no biggie. And I really didn't think too much about it. Well, I had a big dog at the time, 100-pound German Shepherd, and she'd always challenge that fence. She'd always get up there and like hang on it. And after a year or two of doing that, the wind, I guess that weakened it. And then the wind ended up by blowing part of it down. So I got it replaced by a different contractor and I got a vinyl fence. And when he's asking me, okay, what are we going to do? Do a 6-foot fence, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, definitely 6 foot this time. And so I really didn't think about it. So he does the 6-foot fence and it's up there for several years, no problems, until my wife is looking at our paperwork for the house and everything. Now, my wife, she works for a real estate attorney. She's a paralegal for a real estate attorney. She sees this kind of thing all the time. And she's like, oh, no. My house isn't going to have this kind of thing. You need to get this handled. So here I am.
Okay. So Warren, this would be, well, I should ask, do we know if there's paperwork from 2010 for the 10-foot variance on the fence?
No, there is no paperwork for a variance.
Okay.
But I believe this would be a singular variance in that we have had several of these over the past months where they want to put a 6-foot fence in the front setback. So the variance is for the overheight fence in the setback. Because if he came back there to 30 feet, he could put a 6-foot fence without a variance.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
I mean, if we have to do the two, that's fine. Whatever's going to make it right. I want it to be right. Whatever's going to make it right is good.
Yep. And I think Warren corrected me. It is a single variance for a 6-foot high fence. Yeah, that's it. Warren, do you have any concern on the fence location and the height?
No, I have inspected the fence several times. There is also a buffer of trees between the fence and the road. So you almost, in the summer, you almost can't see the fence. It is of no sightline issues whatsoever.
Okay. Does the board have any questions for Mr. Furman?
Does it keep his dog in?
Yeah, well, that dog passed away last year
I'm
and I have it.
sorry.
Oh, no, oh, funny, year ago today.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
I know.
Oh,
But we got another dog and she's great, but she's half the size. So, but it's very effective at keeping her in, yeah.
All right.
I'll make a motion, we go to public hearing like this. Because it's just, we've seen so many of these since I've been around on the board. And there's no issue with anybody on this. It's there. He's doing the right thing. I want to support him on that.
Yeah, and you're right on the corner where there's really nobody across the street that's gonna argue about it, so. Yeah. I
Now you
agree.
get two
no
dogs.
bus stop.
No
No
bus.
bus.
Yeah, no.
No bus stop.
I'll second it then.
Okay. Gabby, can you call a roll on this one?
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Levin,
Yes,
Mr. Porter,
Yes.
Mr. Reggino,
Yes,
Chairman Ring.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Furman, you know what happens next, right?
Yep, you guys, you send a letter to the neighbors asking if they have any, to come to the public hearing, and we do a public hearing next month, and then hopefully we have no problems, and, hopefully this is fixed.
Okay, perfect. So we'll see you in December then.
You will see me in December. Thank you all.
All right,
Happy
thank you.
Thanksgiving,
Have a-
Dan.
Have a great, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Double, double.
All right. The second item, I'd like to open the preliminary hearing for Dan Furman. This is for
Dennerson.
Dennerson, yes. This is,
Yeah, I
for-
was gonna say, boy, am I confused on this one?
You're confused?
Yeah, at times, yep. When you said Dan Furman again,
Oh,
you're
I'm
sure,
sorry.
okay, Columbia Street, there we are.
Yes.
Okay.
right, different person.
All right. Is there someone here from is the applicant here?
I'm
The representatives here.
I'm with the architecture firm who's looking for the Durham. And they wanted to their house. They thought their living room was a little small.
I'm sorry, Michael. I'm having a really hard time hearing you. You're clipping in and out.
Oh, sorry.
Is this a hearing test?
No, Bob, he's just trying to get his audio working. We'll give him a minute.
Just making sure here.
No, you're good, Bob.
Thank you.
Taking this off. Can you hear me better now?
Oh, that's
Oh,
perfect.
that's
Thank
much
you.
better.
I
Oh, all
cannot.
right, cool. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm Michael and I work with Conklin Architecture, and we are representing the Dernisons. They hired us because they wanted to expand their living room because they felt it was a little small, and they wanted to rework the front entry into their house. And being that the lot is a little tight, we knew right away that we would have to come to a meeting for this. So we're proposing to bump out the living room a couple feet or I think about 4 feet or so. And then the lighter gray box there would be a new covered front porch, which would also be part of the new entry into the house. So-
Okay. Okay. Jason, I have a couple questions on this one for you. We have a maximum coverage area for a lot. Do you know what that is for this particular? I assume this is R10, and it looks like it's probably a pre-existing non-conforming lot in R10.
Yeah, yes. Let me look that up right now for you, Jeffrey.
I already have it pulled up.
Oh, there you go.
In all residential districts, maximum building lot coverage not applicable.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure all the paperwork is correct while we go through this. Okay.
Sure.
So I believe what you're asking for is a 10-foot variance on the front setback to allow for the construction of this into the front setback, which would then place it within, it looks like in the application, 20 feet from the road. Is that my understanding?
Yeah.
Okay,
I was out today, I measured. So the porch will be approximately 24 feet from the road, and the living room will be approximately 26. Now, if you look at the overlay, you can see that the front setback cuts through the middle of the house because their front property line is approximately 16 feet from the road edge. Can also attest to the fact that if they put this addition on, they will not be closer to the road than most of the surrounding neighbors.
okay. And when you say it cuts through the house, is that this line here?
That's showing you the front setbacks. You see where it terminates to the right? He's
Here.
got all the setbacks drawn. So you see a square that
Yep,
encompasses the pool and the decks.
yes, right here.
Yeah, that's taking into account all the setbacks on this property.
Got it.
So you can see that half the house is already in the front
Right.
setback.
Okay,
Wow.
I've run into this on several occasions over off of those streets.
okay, I may be slow here, Warren, but if this is the setback at 30 feet, how is this only 24 feet from the front? It looks a lot closer than 24 feet from the front.
It's 24 feet from the road,
Oh, from the road. So how? Okay,
9 feet 2 inches from the front setback.
9 feet 2 inches. So call that 9 feet. So we're asking really for a 21-foot variance from the front setback. That's what we're asking for.
That'll work.
Okay.
I just wanted everybody to be aware that it's not going to be 9 feet from the road, and that it's not going to project closer to the road than the neighbors on both sides.
Understood. Understood. I just want to make sure the paperwork is correct. So Gabby, we want to make sure that it's 21-foot front setback relief.
Yes, I have it at 20 feet, 10 inches.
Okay. That'll work too.
Now, I don't know if you want to take into account on the south side of the property, he's continuing the building line, which is already in the side setback.
Right. So you're saying this setback as well?
This,
Yeah.
yes, that lower section there is at 6'4". So that would be a 3'6" relief from the 10-foot requirement.
So let's call that 4 feet.
Okay.
Let's include that just so the paperwork is correct.
All I'm looking for.
4-foot variance side setback.
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll call it 21 foot in the front and 4 foot in the side. Any more questions for the applicant here from the board?
Yeah, I have several. It's Andy, and I have a few questions. So just in looking at the property line now, you're looking to move it closer to the street by how many feet? Another 10 feet,
5 foot 1 1/2 inch.
5 feet?
Mhm.
Okay. That's not too bad. And you're looking to extend it. And you're also looking to extend it, right? New living room and bedroom. So, I'm just curious because the town of Ulster, with all this much roof line and everything else, and with the storm water that comes off, and you're developing so much, you're taking up so much of the lot, where does that storm water go and how does it impact the neighbor? And just because we don't have it in our zoning code, it doesn't mean that it doesn't bear asking the question. Because the zoning code actually would reflect how much you can develop of your parcel. So I'm just asking, and I wanted to know, where is the hardship for this? As we look, does it create such a hardship, or is it just something that you want, that your client wants? So I'm just having a hard time to really expand the footprint of this in such a big way for such a small lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, their living room was really, really tiny. So that in and of itself was already, I mean, one could say a hardship, another could say that they want a bigger living room. So I guess it depends on how you think about that. But as far as the stormwater, I don't think it would, we're not really adding an exorbitant amount of roof area. The darker gray bump out is only 4 more feet from the existing residence. So I don't think it'll have a huge impact on the stormwater.
I might point out that if they had decided to add on to the rear of the house, they could add a considerable amount to the house without having to get a variance. And they could increase the roof line just with a simple building permit. Because in this district, they're allowed max coverage within setbacks.
And Warren, do you happen to know the size of this lot? By any chance, it looks like maybe it's a 10,000 square foot lot in that
Wait a minute,
area.
I'll pull it up and figure it out.
Michael, do you know the square footage of the lot?
Yeah, it's 5,600 about square feet. It's actually in the table to the top left-hand corner of the drawing.
Okay. $56.63.
56, okay, yep. Thank you for that.
So Michael, with that being said, that what Warren just said, if they wanted to build in the back, they could have much more, the capacity, a larger capacity to do so. Why did they choose to go in the front? Because that's where the living room is located and they didn't want to, did they consider that at all? Just a question. I'm not telling you to do that. It's just a question.
No, that's totally fine. Yeah, that's where their existing living room was. And another aspect of the project was reworking the front entry into the house. So yeah. And it'll also be a more minimal impact on the existing building to just bump out the front rather than try to rearrange the inside of the house to
Right.
go out the back.
I understand.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I feel like the reason that the setbacks were designed when these neighborhoods were designed, so you had a clear sight line for all of the houses to be able to look out and see down the street. And once we grant one variance that starts to encroach and move closer and closer to the street, you know, we already do not have sidewalks in that neighborhood. I just feel like it's opening a can of worms a little bit, because I'm just not seeing the hardship other than the desire of having a larger living room. So I'm just looking at our role and how we're supposed to base our decisions.
yep.
And that's
Now-
a question I have.
Now, I think this lot, when it was developed, predates zoning. So the setbacks and so on wouldn't have been applicable when this was built. And I think that Warren said that this expansion of the structure would not bring it closer to the road than any of his other neighbors in terms of the sight lines that you're talking about. I think that's what he said.
That is correct.
So it would be consistent with the look and feel of the neighborhood, Warren?
Yes, absolutely. We do actually have in our code, if they were to build a new house on this lot, say it was vacant, they're allowed to encroach to the road if the rest of the houses within 200 feet are encroaching on the road.
Can you say that last part again, Warren? I'm sorry.
I got
So
you.
we have a section in our code which would say this was a vacant lot. Okay. you
No,
see
I
where-
can understand. I just couldn't hear you. I apologize. I'm on my phone.
Okay, that's fine. You see where the front setback is at the 30 feet. If this were a vacant lot, they'd be
Right.
allowed to come closer to the road, matching the rest of the houses on the road. So this is
Gotcha.
basically about the same thing, expanding the house to be in line with the other houses adjacent and across the street.
So to put it in simple English, it should conform to the rest of the neighborhood, and it seems to have done that.
I would say it differently, Bob. I would say it doesn't change the character of
That's-
the neighborhood.
That's better word, character of the neighborhood. When I did a little quick math, it's only 184 square foot difference from what it is to what it's proposed to be. I have my little things here. Doesn't seem like it's all that much.
I would suggest we do this. I think that there's enough to debate and move this to the public hearing.
Okay, sure.
And I think that's our job tonight, to determine whether or not it goes to a public hearing. I think there's enough, I've heard enough that I think that it should go. So I would like, if there's no more discussion, I'll make a motion. Okay, I'll make a motion that we move this to public hearing.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Gabby, can you call the roll?
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Levin,
Yeah, I'll let it go to public hearing. I have no problem with that.
Mr. Porter,
Yes.
Mr. Reggino,
Yes.
Chairman Ring.
Yes. So I would encourage before the next meeting, maybe to take a drive by and take a look at the
Mhm.
neighborhood. I used to live in this neighborhood. I haven't been back in 20 years, so I will take a drive by.
I know the neighborhood very well.
Okay,
So does any of us live out here? Like my neighborhood was made to match the GI Bill after World War II. This was built in 1948. A lot of things we're discussing, we never even thought of at that time when they put these houses together. The same with that, in relationship to IBM and things like that. They never thought we'd have these kind of zoning codes, but we do.
okay. So, Michael, you know what happens next?
Yeah, don't, I guess, do you guys or do we have to send out the letters to all the neighbors?
Nope, we'll take care of planning the next meeting. It'll be on the agenda for public hearing next meeting. Gabby will send notification out to the neighbors. they'll have an opportunity, or anybody in the town will have an opportunity to comment on the project. And then we will take a vote, most likely next month.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
Yep.
Well, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, see you. Happy
Okay.
Thanksgiving
you.
all.
Same to you.
You too. So let me go back to the agenda.
That was it.
That was it. Okay.
Happy
Okay.
Thanksgiving, kids.
I'm showing my mouth.
I have to say, I found this going through my mom's stuff, and it's the zoning book that was sent out to all the town of Ulster people dating back to 1990.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's all about when the town of Ulster was getting ready to present a zoning code. So in case you need this for your archives.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Wow,
Are you-
very cool.
I
Are you
remember the
getting
comments about that
zoning?
from the
Are
neighbors
you
and my
ready for
father
it?
at the American Legion. They were
Wow.
so excited about it at the Legion.
And then town of Let Your Voice Be Heard. I found this going through my mom's old stuff. I thought I'd share this at our meeting.
Thank
1990.
you. That's awesome.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
good.
if we were meeting
That
in
should be
person, I'd be
preserved.
happy to bring it and show it to everybody and let you all look
I
through
would
it.
love to see it. I would love to
funny.
see it.
I'll tell
And
you,
you
there
should
were a lot of
read-
voices heard. when
Yeah,
they were
I'll
doing it.
bet. I'll
Oh,
bet.
yeah.
I'll bet, because the town of Ulster, I mean, the thought of zoning back then, and
Oh, yeah.
honestly, in 1990, that's pretty late. A lot of municipalities took it on a lot
Yeah.
earlier than that.
I have news for you right now in 2020. The thought of zoning to some people is the same as it was back in 1989.
Yeah.
But
So,
what,
I understand what you're saying.
if you read some of the deeds from that area going back to like even 1950, 1960, to read the property descriptions and the covenants, they didn't need zoning. They had it in their deeds, what was acceptable and what was not.
What
They
wasn't.
really had it together there. And what Andy was saying about, this line of sight, whether it be that neighborhood or whatever, it was in their deeds what they wanted. It's very interesting. I love that history reading.
Well, I
about-
mean, property owners have always been smart about protecting their rights.
yes,
So,
yes,
and that's really, I guess, what it's all about. So,
right. Yeah, and
That's
who they
why
want to live in near
Actually, it's a
them.
war
And,
zone for
oh,
people.
yeah.
They
So I
look at
thought
that
I'd
as
share
freedom
that.
and their rights.
Well, thank you,
That is
Andy.
very
That's
cool.
a great find.
I
It
will move
is.
to adjourn.
So do we have a motion to adjourn?
I just made it.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
All right, we'll see you
Happy
next month. Thanks,
Thanksgiving,
guys.
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving.
Adios,
Have a great
everybody.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And stay safe. It's on the rise. It's crazy. Stay safe.
It is.
Okay.
All
Bye-bye.
right. See you
This
all.
string, can you stay on the line for, oh, we're on public. Okay, never mind.
You want, I'll give you a call.
Okay, please do. We'll do the Facebook.